Hey there, everyone. This is the Tier List Andy, also known as Jeremy, and I have a NBA GOATS tier list maker here for us. I'm going to do it a little bit different. We have star, starter, six man, bench, and cut. The way I want to do it is there's only going to be one star, four starters, one six man, and then I'm going to do six bench players, and the rest will be cut. It's a way of ranking them basically 1 through 12, and then but doing it in a little bit funner way. For the starters, it doesn't need to be point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. It could be any of them. It's just the best player that I feel like I would pick for my team. And starting it off, I guess I should tell you my credentials. I am a 5'10 white male. I played high school level basketball. Um, no collegiate, no NBA experience. So I have just as much credentials as Skip Bayless and a lot of the ESPN analysts. So why not take a crack at it and see what we can do? Starting off, we got Dwayne Wade. And with Dwayne Wade, I would put him in. For right now, I'm going to put him in cut. A lot of players here. I kind of want to wheedle it out. For right now, I'm going to put these two at the top. I think that's very obvious. I mean, whether you hate them or you love them, I have LeBron either at number 2 or number 1. One of the best players that we've ever seen. Longevity. Doesn't have a lot of the finals wins. I mean, he has 6 finals losses, but I don't count finals losses as that bad of a thing. You still made it. You still competed at the highest level. And LeBron in these competitions, except for against the Mavericks, performed phenomenally in the finals. So when it counts most, LeBron does show up. Has kind of a bad rep. Some people say that he's not clutch. I think that making a right pass and making the shot are, I would say, equally important. The playmaker is as important as the basket scorer in my eyes. So, with that being said, we'll keep those guys at number 1 and number 2. I don't want to drop any bombs that early, but we'll keep them there. I think that we have a few more obvious starters. Where's he at? Where's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? There he is. Kareem is great. Magic's great. For right now, put Kobe and Larry in there, and we need one more. I'll keep it like that. I think that's pretty good for right now because one of these guys is going to slide down. And this isn't definitive either. Larry Bird could easily slide down to 6-man as I go through these guys and I kind of value them a little bit differently. So again, we got Shaquille O'Neal. We'll move right into him. I like Shaq. Shaq is very dominant. He's the only thing is he's a little bit one-dimensional. You can get him in the post. He has nice footwork. You get him underneath the rim. Obviously, he's going to slam it on you. Or he actually has soft touch. The only thing that I don't like is I want to say his stamina. He seemed to get a little bit wear down in like third quarters and the start of fourth quarters until they rested him and brought him back out. But you could also hack him, send him to the free throw line to disrupt his rhythm. He's not going to shoot on the floor very much. So with that, I think that there are better centers. So for right now, I'm going to put Shaq in the bench category. Again, I am not doubting that. I'm not denouncing that he is a dominant player. He absolutely destroyed people in the paint. Great defender. I'm not taking any of that away. One thing, I'm just going to get a lot of these guys kind of grouped together. Who is that? Who it? 44? I don't know who 44 is, so I'm going to keep him right there for right now. That's no way that's the Iceman. That's not George Gervin. I don't believe that. That's Bob McAdoo. So we'll just Elgin Baylor. Okay. So with these old players like Bob Pettit, Will Chamberlain, Bill Russell, I have a hard time ranking them comparing to the talent that we've seen come after them. I believe that athletes get stronger. I believe that athletes get faster. I believe they get smarter as well. Training gets a lot better. Recovery's a lot better. Nutrition's a lot better. Everything is just better for the modern athlete, and I think that it would translate in a better way for these players if they were to play nowadays. However, I can't decide if that is the case 100% because it just didn't happen. The only thing that I know is that they played in an older era. They played against people that weren't as skilled as the current average NBA player, and also just weren't as tall and physically as a physical force as them. So when somebody like Wilt Chamberlain, who is a dominating physical force, goes against another center that might be 6'10" and cannot jump to even dunk the ball, basically, what do you think Wilt Chamberlain's going to do to him? He's going to drop like 40 points a game. He's going to drop 100 points in one game. I mean, it's just hard to rank. So for right now, I'm going to put them in the bench category. If I feel that they deserve to go above or below into the cut category, I will obviously do so. But for right now, they stay right there. Olajuwon. If it wasn't for Kareem, I think that Olajuwon is one of the best centers of all time. Fantastic footwork, great shooting touch, great soft touch at the rim, and slam it home. Great defending, great post, great rebounding, even a great playmaker. I value the more complete player rather than the one-dimensional player, unless the one-dimensional player is so dominating that it covers up those holes. And for me, I think Olajuwon is better than Shaquille O'Neal. I don't think that that's that crazy of a take, personally, but I know some people will think that. Next, we have AI. And I like AI. But the thing is that AI is, what, 6'1"? He's not the best defender around. Great on ball. He will swipe it from you. Not a lot of reach and fouls and everything like that. And a high volume shooter. Obviously took the 76ers to the finals with like an old decrepit team. But I think that there are better choices. So for right now, I'm going to put him in the cut. That's just for right now. I believe that's Kevin McHale. I'm going to put him in the cut. Great player, great post work, but again, put him in the modern era, and I just see him getting rejected by guys like Rudy Gobert, Joel Embiid, and all of these great defenders that we have in the league right now, as well as size-wise defenders. Let's see here. We got Charles Barkley. I love Charles. Love Charles. Love him. So for right now, we're going to put him in the bench. I don't think he's going to slide into the six-man position because obviously I would rather take Shaq. I'd rather take Olajuwon personally. But there's not a lot of holes in Charles's game. Great player. That's Drexler. Drexler was a great player. Great scorer. Good leader. For right now, I'm going to have him in the cut. And then Dr. J reminds me a lot of Charles Barkley. Obviously was the precursor to Charles Barkley. Very versatile wing player. Good scorer. Great rebounder. Good playmaker. Good defense. A little bit of everything. The way that I look at Charles and Dr. J is kind of like, and it's going to sound bad, but I see them as a lesser version of like Larry Bird and LeBron James. A player that can do it all, but they just couldn't do it as well as the ones that I just said as Larry Bird and LeBron James. It's David Robinson, great center. I have Shaq better as a center. I have Wilt Chamberlain better as a center. So for right now, I'm going to keep them in here. We're already getting into a dangerous territory, so I'm going to kind of slide these guys down for right now. Kevin Garnett. That's hard. Oh, man, that's hard. I love KG. I love KG. Man. For right now, I'm going to have to keep him in the cut because I see Tim Duncan here. And honestly, I like Tim Duncan more than KG. I don't care too much about personalities of a player because different personalities work with different teammates. They work in different locker rooms. They work with different coaches. So to say one had a better personality than the other one, it's just kind of unfair to the situation that the players would find themselves in. KG obviously a lot more hot-headed, trash talker, and then Tim Duncan being a lot more laid back, humble guy. That has no input on me. I just think that Tim Duncan is a better player personally, and with saying that, I'm going to stick him in the bench for now. I think his post work was better. I think that his playmaking was better. I actually think that his defense was better too. And that may have come from being under Coach Pop, but it doesn't matter. That's the reality that we know. That's the player that we've seen. So that's what I'm going to go with. Steph Curry. If you don't have Steph Curry on your bench, if you don't have him, like if you have a choice of choosing Steph Curry and you don't choose Steph Curry, that's insane. For me, he's the better version of AI. He's a better playmaker. He's a better shooter. Maybe not better at finishing at the rim, but I don't know. Steph has a great floater. So I just think that he's better than AI in every single way. Maybe not on steals, but still, Curry gets a lot of steals. We got Dirk. Dirk doesn't have much defense. I have Dirk below Kevin Garnett in terms of who the better power forward is, so that's kind of an easy choice for me. Karl Malone. Karl Malone, man. The mailman. Never won a chip, but you can't really blame a guy that played in the Jordan era. All of the guys that didn't win one, like Charles Barkley, it doesn't mean much to me because you played in an era that MJ played, and that's not your fault. You just can't do anything about it, and he played phenomenally. So for right now, we'll keep him in the bench. We're gonna have to move guys off of the bench. Obviously, a lot of cuts are gonna happen. Kevin Durant. I mean, 7 foot tall, 3-point, mid range, finishing, defending, rebounding, and good playmaking. He's almost a taller version of LeBron, but I just feel he doesn't have the IQ of LeBron. If LeBron is viewed as, timid and gets in his head a lot, gets in his feelings a lot, then the same would be said about Kevin Durant. But again, I'm trying not to go off of personality unless it is something like clutch factor. KD, I feel, is clutch. Again, I still feel like LeBron is clutch. Making the right pass is as important as making the shot as well. So for right now, we'll keep him in the sixth man. I love Kevin Durant. And he actually there might be a swap like that in the future, but for right now, Kevin Durant stays right there. Jerry West. I'm going to bench Jerry West. Nothing against Jerry. You put him on the court. Nowadays, I don't see him doing the same levels of success that he did in the past. He's a lot smaller. He's a high volume shooter. Kind of the original combo guard of the old era. But again, I don't like the old era players as much. Is this Bob McAdoo? If this is Bob McAdoo, you got to put him in the cut. And I'm sorry about that. Same with Scottie Pippen. I'm going to put Scottie Pippen in the cut as well because I'm looking up and I'm looking at Dr. J, who is the notable comparison, or I'm just even looking up at Dwayne Wade, and I don't know if I'd rather have Scottie Pippen over Dwayne Wade, personally. Both were great sidekicks, but Dwayne Wade showed that he was also a great, carrier of a team. Scottie Pippen never really had the chance. When MJ was gone for a little bit, he did, and then when he went to the Blazers, but when he went to the Blazers, he was already so old that he couldn't carry that team. So, unfair kind of career for Scottie Pippen, but you are labeled as the Batman. You are labeled as Robin. And so for right now, I'm looking at Batman to put on my team. I need people that are going to be the ones to carry the torch. So, John Stockton. Oh, I have John Stockton as the third best point guard of all time. For me, it goes Magic, Steph, John Stockton. No offense to John Stockton. Great playmaker. Insane playmaker. Great shooter. Didn't shoot that much because he was feeding Karl Malone in the post. That was more of their style of play. but also just great defender. I mean, on ball steals. He could stay in front of his defender very, very well. A great player. And is this Elgin Baylor? It almost looks like Greg Monroe. And I know that's not Greg Monroe. So for now, we'll put him in the cut. Elgin Baylor, another older player. I'm seeing the Royals, which I believe was Los Angeles Royals, or was it Milwaukee? I can't remember. Excuse me, 1 second. He's a great player. I mean, he scored a lot, huge rebounds, lots. He was again. He was kind of the starting LeBron James, a guy that could do a little bit of everything. So for right now, we'll keep Elgin Baylor down here, just because he played in the older times. And for me personally, I'm gonna swap these two, and I feel good about it because Kevin Durant. I mean, he just does what Larry Bird does, but he just is bigger. And the players just get better. His shooting is insane. It does not matter if somebody's in his face. It doesn't matter if he's alone. He's going to make shots and he's going to knock them down no matter what. So I love Kevin Durant. And that's crazy. Hang on a second. Let's slow down there for a second, Jeremy. Who's better, Kobe or KD? I don't want to look too much into championships. Obviously, Kobe willed 2 championships without Shaquille. Kevin Durant never was able to do that until he went to the Golden State Warriors. Might get one with the Nets this year, but who knows? I'll keep it like this for now. I would rather have Kobe, despite Kobe being the less efficient shooter. Kobe's defense actually was overlooked, insanely too much. Great on ball. Actually, a great rim protector at some points too. He wasn't afraid to get into the paint and try to defend people. So I'll keep Kobe there for now. I think Magic's better than Kobe personally. I think that Kareem's better than Magic. I think the 1-2-3. If your 1-2-3 isn't MJ, LeBron, and Kareem, I just don't want to talk basketball with you for some reason. And not for some reason, but you kind of already explained that you don't really know basketball too much, or you kind of are in the media bias a little too much. I can understand the fight for Kobe because a lot of people grew up watching Kobe. That's a lot of people's MJ that they got to see. But for me, the MJ that I got to saw was LeBron. I always felt that LeBron did it better than Kobe just because of the efficiency, playmaking, and basketball IQ. Not saying that Kobe had a bad basketball IQ, but sometimes he would take stupid shots because of his ego and his pride, and it kind of got in the way a little bit, and it kind of hindered his basketball IQ at points. Let's see. So I'm feeling good here. I have to move somebody down. And for now, I'm going to move LeBron down. I don't know if LeBron can catch up to Michael Jordan per se. Unless he plays like 5 more years and he has like 44,000 points, 12,000 rebounds, 12,000 assists, and he wins like 3 more chips. I don't see him catching up to MJ because once MJ got going in his career, he never let his foot off the gas until he had to retire from basketball, and then he came back and he did it again. So, I mean, were the players as good during MJ's era, like as a whole? I don't think so. I think that teams now are a lot more complete. Even if you took the worst team in the NBA right now and you put it back in the 90s, I feel like they would have, moderate success. I'm not saying that they're going to the finals. I'm not saying that they're an AC, but I think that they're going to have better. You're going to have better success playing back then, even with the harder rules of defense and everything like that. I feel like these players would adjust, and the knowledge that they have nowadays, as far as nutrition and everything like that, it gets carried back with it, so it helps them be able to compete a lot better. I'm going to keep Larry Bird at 6-man. I think that's an obvious choice. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The star like, obviously the star is going to be in the starting lineup, and then that would move KD down to 6, and then that would move Larry to the bench. But we're not going to do it that way. 5 starters, 1 6-man, 1 star. So bench, I like Olajuwon. I like Shaquille. I'm going to move Wilt up. That's 3 centers in a row. Not again. It didn't matter if it's point guard, shooting guard, small. I don't need to fill out the positions. I'm going to then move Steph Curry up. I'm then going to move Tim Duncan up. So we have one more spot, and that's between these 4 players. And we got Charles, Dr. J, David Robinson, and Karl Malone. I'm going to move David down instantly. I'm going to move Dr. J down instantly. No offense to Dr. J on this. I just feel like these players are the better version of Dr. J because they learn from him. I'm going to give the nod to Karl. A little bit better in shape. Huge frame, huge shoulders, and just a lot more dominating scorer than Charles was. So for that reason, I'm going to move Charles down. I don't really think... We'll spruce this up a little bit. I like Wade a lot. I like Stockton. I like KG. Who are you? Who is that? George Gervin? That's not George Gervin. Who is number 44? San Antonio Spurs. It's George Gervin. I'm smoking on something. I don't care about George Gervin that much, to be honest with you. Go Russell there. That's good. Dirk, Allen, Clyde. Move Pippen here. Let's move Baylor. If that's Baylor, I believe that's Baylor. I don't have much to say about Bob McAdoo. I feel like Bob McAdoo might be the most overlooked player of all time. I have nothing to say about Bob McAdoo. If that's Bob McAdoo. You know what? Wait a second. Bob McAdoo. No, I might be wrong. And it's not looking like Bob McAdoo. It's not Elvin Hayes. It's not Wes Unseld. Who? Who are you? That's Moses Malone. That's Moses Malone. Oh, man. Just keep him there. It doesn't matter. I feel confident about that list. That's embarrassing. Please don't judge me. I'm the Bob McAdoo, Moses Malone slip up. We got there. And that's my list. If you feel that I hit it on the head, please let me know. If you feel that I'm as dumb as Skip Bayless and all the other ESPN analysts, please let me know. I look forward to hearing that. If you like this content, please subscribe and like the video. And I hope that you have a wonderful